Hello and welcome to History for Weirdos.
We're your hosts, Andrew
and Stephanie.
And each week, we're going to take you on a journey into the strange, obscure, and relentlessly entertaining corners of human history.
Now listen up, friends, because it's about to get weird.
What's going on, weirdos? I'm Andrew Iverson.
And I'm Stephanie Cerati Iverson.
And welcome to the History for Weirdos podcast,
where we talk to you all about weird, but hopefully entertaining, and maybe even educational, historical stories and facts.
Educational, I like that. It's definitely a little bit of a stretch.
It's an aspiration of ours.
An aspiration, I love it.
Yes. So, Andrew, why don't you tell me what weird, historical story are you telling me this week?
So, today, I have a very interesting story about a curious case of people's teeth actually exploding.
Like, in their mouths?
In their mouths.
No.
You know, like, whoopah! But actually, exploding.
That sounds so awful. You just gave me a flashback, babe. Do you remember when we were in San Diego and I got one of my wisdom teeth taken out?
Yes.
We didn't have dental insurance. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't have dental insurance. This is when we first moved in together, and so
before we were married.
Before we were married, and I had to get my wisdom tooth taken out without anesthesia. Like, they just, gave me a little shot in my jaw to numb it, but I was awake, and I remember the cracking of the teeth. So
yeah,
we'll see how I get through this lovely story.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can get through this. I mean, that was, and also the fact that that doctor was a quack.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into it, but it'll actually make me pissed off.
Yeah, but I said that to say I can almost certainly imagine what exploding teeth feel like.
Yeah, definitely. There was a significant amount of pain to this,
yes,
with people involved in this.
Tell me about it.
Before I jump in, though, 100%, I do want to make a quick little addition to my last story that I told, the Great Emu War.
Episode 2?
Yes, this was episode 2, in case you guys haven't listened to it. Highly suggest you guys download it. Might be biased, but I thought it was pretty cool. I just had, 2 citations that I wanted to give credit to. One of them was Wikipedia, which, of course, you should know, hopefully.
Yeah, big fans of Wikipedia here.
Big fans. And then also the Scientific American. They had a good article about it.
Yeah, we will always try to accurately cite our sources. Mm-hmm. If you ever have a question or even a suggestion or a question for us, feel free to email us at historyforweirdos@gmail.com also.
Yeah, and of course you can also just get all the episodes by hitting subscribe too. So I think without further ado, let's just jump in straight into the episode here. So this was set, to give you a little backdrop, all of these cases that took place, or I shouldn't say all of them, but almost all of them took place in the 19th century, which is very interesting. And the sound of the tooth exploding.
Oh my gosh.
There was a lot of actual, documentation on this, which
on specifically the sound?
Specifically the sound, and the reason why is because it sounded a lot like a pistol shot.
Oh,
so
shoot.
19th century pistol shot. Mm-hmm. Specifically pistol, not rifle, which I think is kind of interesting. And also, interestingly enough, up until the time that the tooth exploded, people were in agonizing pain.
Okay, yeah.
Agonizing. And then...
So it didn't just spontaneously one day your freaking tooth explodes. You were in a lot of pain for days.
In tons of pain. Tons of pain. And then one day, like that...
The sound of a pistol and your tooth freaking exploded.
Your tooth explodes, and amazingly, they felt great after.
Oh.
Just a ton of pressure and pain.
I just got chills
gone.
thinking about it.
And they said they felt it was almost euphoric.
Wow.
So, like, I mean, it makes sense if you're just in tons of pain for days or weeks even, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. It must be like, oh,
like a little dopamine rush.
beautiful. Yeah. So, the first, case of this was recorded about 200 years ago in Pennsylvania by a dentist, W.H. Atkinson, our boy. And he would actually see 3 of these cases in his lifetime.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting.
Yeah, so he was not only the first one, but he also saw 2 additional ones spread throughout decades even.
Okay.
Which is very strange.
So the first recorded case of this is in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah, and 3 of them, I suppose. There are 2 subsequent ones as well. So the first one was in 1817, and it was a reverend. So, a lot of people actually thought that he might have been possessed by, like, a demon.
Really?
Which it goes back to our last episode, funny enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This idea of demons, demonic possession, curses tends to be a medical explanation back in the day.
Exactly. But, 19th century, it's a little bit more advanced than this, what was the 16th century the last time. So, not quite. It was more of like a joke. Oh, he's possessed by a devil. But, like...
But, like, maybe
he could be,
It's possible.
It wasn't, like, dogmatic, like, oh, he for sure is.
Right.
Yeah.
But it crossed people's minds.
Exactly. And I'm going to read a direct quote from the dentist, our boy, W.H. Atkinson.
Okay, I'm excited.
The right superior canine, or first bicuspid, commenced aching, increasing in intensity to such a degree as to set him wild. During his agonies, he ran about here and there in the vain endeavor to obtain some respite, at one time boring his head on the ground like an enraged animal, at another poking it under the corner of the fence, and again going to the spring and plunging his head to the bottom of the cold water. So, this is and what's... Oh, God, I know. What's kind of amazing about this too is, like, this guy was a reverend, so he's highly looked upon in his society, right? So
like his community would have really looked up to him.
Exactly. There's no way this guy's making it up. Like, this guy must have been in a ton of pain.
Absolutely.
For him to be acting in such a hysterical manner.
Right, or else, he had a reputation to, like, uphold.
Exactly.
He would only be doing that if he was, like, freaking in agony.
Yeah, he was a man of God.
Yeah.
So, however, all proved unavailing until about 9 a.m. the next morning. And this is where it gets funny.
Okay.
Not funny, just very strange.
Weird.
Very weird.
History for weirdos.
Whoa. It's almost like we planned this.
Yeah, almost.
And, as he was, of course, just in, like, so much pain, he was delirious. He, all of a sudden, just, like, there was a sharp crack. And, like a pistol shot. And it burst his tooth into fragments.
Wow.
To multiple fragments. But the thing was, it gave him instant relief.
Oh my God.
Like, he was good. And he just turned to his wife and said, my pain is all gone.
Oh my freaking God.
And I guess he'd probably been up for, like, days at this point, right? Yeah. So he went to bed and just slept, like, slept the entire day, and then into the next night as well. And then, like, afterwards, he was just completely fine, like, back to normal, business as normal. Like,
but missing a tooth.
Yeah. But I mean, for back then, it's not even a big deal.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's
he
like,
was chic for back then.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go, like, preach some sermons, I guess, like, the next day.
Wow.
And he was fine for the rest of his life.
Like, nothing else ever came of that for him?
Nope, that was it.
No other symptoms?
Nothing.
No, like, headache. I don't know, I'm picturing, like, a headache, a fever, some sort of infection, pus. None of that good stuff?
I mean, nothing, like, immediately after. So, like, he might have had things in ears on, but, like...
but nothing related to this tooth.
Yeah.
There were no other symptoms.
He was completely fine after that.
Wow. I am so intrigued.
Yes.
Please tell me more.
Oh, I will. I will tell you a lot more. So, the second case that our boy, W.H. Atkinson, came across was 13 years later.
Oh,
and if my calculations are correct, this would be in 1830. And this patient was Mrs. Letitia D. Mm-hmm. Her case was similar, very similar. And she suffered a prolonged toothache, which, quote-unquote, terminated by bursting with report, giving immediate relief.
Oh my
So,
God.
like, almost identical to the last one.
And 13 years later.
13 years later, so 1830 versus 1817. Unfortunately, don't know much more about her, about this case. That's pretty much all we know. It's just like, oh, wow, it's pretty much exactly like the previous one.
Okay.
So strange.
Yeah. No,
Very
this
strange.
is super freaking strange.
And then the third case happened 25 years after this one.
No.
Same doctor, our boy, W.H. Atkinson. Man, he must have loved dentistry or something. He's like literally just... I
think he's making people's teeth explode.
Yeah, yeah.
I think maybe he's not a very good dentist, and now his people's teeth are exploding.
You might. I'll get to that in a little bit, but
it was the dentist in the pantry with the the candlestick. That's my guess.
Exactly. So the third case, 1855, Mrs. Anna P.A. So let's just call her Anna, our girl Anna. She reported that one of her canines split front to back.
So
her canine one, it's different tooth this time. So,
wait, for the last two, it was the same tooth each time?
I don't know about the second one, but this is for sure a different tooth than the first one.
Right, okay.
So, our boy, again, W.H. Atkinson, he wrote this. A sudden, sharp report and instant relief, as in the other cases, occurred in the left superior canine. She is living healthy, the mother of a family of fine girls. Why he put fine girls, I don't know. But, he's just basically saying that... She's chilling.
Yeah.
She's, she's smoking, she's drinking, she's having a good time. I don't know about the smoking and drinking part, but...
Oh my God. Did he have any, theories?
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'll get into theories in a little bit. But, I want to also point out that he wasn't the only dentist to come across these.
Okay.
So, I will say, though, that apparently all of these cases, it looked like, happened in the United States.
In Pennsylvania, these three that we've seen.
So we had the three in Pennsylvania, and then there were... these illnesses were incredibly rare, insanely rare. However, they did happen to other people, not seen by this dentist. So this guy was not purposefully doing this.
Okay.
More than likely.
I still think it was him, but go on.
Yes. It could have been the demons, too.
Or the demons,
of
course.
Yes. So another American dentist in 1871 had a female patient whose toothache ended spectacularly when the tooth, a molar this time, so this is a molar, not a canine.
Okay.
Or
whatever the other one was.
Or whatever the other one was, yeah. And then, again, this is in quotes, bursted with a concussion and report that well nigh knocked her over. I love that he threw a nigh,
Whoa.
The end is nigh.
Spectacular, man.
Yeah.
It knocked her over?
It literally knocked her freaking over.
That's so scary.
Yeah, can you imagine, you're just chilling, and then boom.
Your tooth bursts so hard, you fall over.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. I'm super, super interested in this.
So, and also, again, it not only knocked her over.
Okay.
The explosion was so loud that she was deafened for days.
This poor woman.
For freaking days. Yeah, so, again, to recap, tons of pain.
Knocked on her booty.
Yeah, tooth explodes, knocked on her butt, and then she's also deaf for a few days.
She can't freaking hear anything.
Yeah, so...
She can't even hear people explain to her what just happened.
Yeah, that freaking sucks.
Okay. Poor woman.
I know, I honestly, I do not envy... this at all.
Oh my God, I'm totally going to have nightmares tonight about exploding teeth.
So hopefully this doesn't happen to you. But, good news for you is that there really hasn't been a case reported in about 100 years.
Phew. Ooh.
So since the last time we were in the 20s.
The last time we were in the 20s. Okay.
Yes, that was the last time that there was a case reported.
Okay.
So, only about a half a dozen of these cases.
Documented cases?
Documented cases
Is
happened.
that just in the U.S. or worldwide?
No, this was just in the U.S.
Okay, so you didn't come across any abroad?
No.
Okay.
Strangely enough. There might have been, but...
Just you didn't see any in your research?
And weirdos, if you do know of things, of like events like this that happened in other countries,
yes, if you
other
know
parts
of
of the
other
world,
exploding teeth, let us know.
Please let us know, because I would love to know more about this.
Yeah, I wonder if there were cases in other countries, if there's any kind of like commonalities amongst the ones that you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And so here's my favorite part.
Okay.
The theories.
Yay, the theories.
The theories.
I'm sure they're weird.
They're weird. I feel like they could have been weirder, though.
Okay.
So, slightly disappointing. So,
Some of them are fairly logical.
Some of them, I'd say they were pretty logical.
That is
disappointing.
Severely disappointing.
Yeah, I really want demons, and none of them were demonic.
Okay, go on then.
Maybe I could put my theory in. Demons.
That seems to be your theory for everything.
I know.
No one trusts Andrew to cure their medical ailments.
It's demons.
It's demons.
Yes. Get an exorcism, boy.
Yep. He'll bleed you.
Oh, God. So, in his 1860 article, our boy, Atkinson, offered two possible explanations for this.
Okay.
The first was that a substance which he called free caloric was building up in the tooth and caused a dramatic increase in pressure. This is debunked because it relies on an obsolete scientific theory. So that's
I assume like these free calorics.
of this caloric.
Okay.
So his second theory, though, however, much more plausible and more logical, unfortunately, tooth decay.
Tooth decay?
Boo!
Tooth decay?
Yeah, tooth decay.
Like, that's how freaking nasty their teeth were? They were exploding out of their mouths, knocking them on their butts and deafening them?
But, again, though, it's only a theory, and there's more.
Okay.
There's actually pretty interesting theories, more than this, though. Mm-hmm. So, again, this one's more plausible, but dentists are skeptical about this. Mm-hmm. And it is highly unlikely that gas could build up in a tooth sufficient enough to cause it to explode. Teeth are actually pretty strong. Mm-hmm. The 19th century dentists didn't understand the nature of cavities and tooth decay as we do now, apparently.
Okay.
And they thought that it came from within the tooth. And it's only really in the last 100 years or so that we started understanding that decay is caused by diet and bacteria building up on the surface of teeth.
Yeah, like when you're a little kid and they tell you not to eat too much sweets because then you get a cavity.
Exactly. Yeah. That wasn't, back in his day, that was not a leading scientific theory or thought, I suppose. Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that it's likely not tooth decay?
It's likely not.
Okay.
It's more plausible than his, obsolete scientific theory. Mm-hmm. So, because tooth decay is actually real.
Mm-hmm. So he's getting closer. It's like, you're still our boy, W.H. Atkinson, even if you might have incorrect theories. Yeah.
You're still our boy. Yeah, you tried. You're having a good time. So, an additional theory, this is the most likely. Mm-hmm. It's not conclusive, but it's the most likely. Chemicals. Mm-hmm. So, before mercury amalgam, which started going to use in the 1830s, a wide variety of metals were actually used to fill dental cavities, including lead.
I was about to guess lead. Yeah, they freaking use lead on everything.
They freaking use lead in tooth fillings. Absolutely disgusting.
Can I say something on lead really quick?
Of course.
Queen Elizabeth I.
Oh, so our girl way back in the day.
Yeah, her makeup was actually lead-based.
Oh my god, that is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, so I think one of the causes of her death is actually probably lead poisoning. They used to put lead in everything.
Is that insane?
Yeah.
And they're like, it's actually bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it could be the lead fillings. What else could it be?
Yeah, also, even mercury. Come on, guys.
Yes, that's super dangerous.
Come on, seriously?
For anyone out there who didn't know, don't put mercury or lead in your mouth.
Or, anywhere on or in your body.
Yeah.
Like, just don't do it.
Just
please,
don't do it.
For the love of God. So a lot of people, like, and also, like, there's other alloys they use too. But, like, what's nuts about all this is that, like, if you use two different metals, like, you could create what scientists call an electrochemical cell, or what we know as batteries.
What?
You would literally, like, create a battery in your freaking mouth.
So the fillings were like batteries?
They were like batteries. So, repeat again. Like, I have to repeat this again. If you used, like, at least two different metals, you could create a battery in your mouth.
Is it two specific different metals,
No.
or it's just like the combination?
It could just be like any two different metals, not like all two different type of metals, but just like the combination.
There's a whole host of
Yeah,
combinations.
there's probably a huge list, and I'm not a scientist. I don't know, but yeah,
You're not a
I'm not a
scientist?
Surprisingly surprisingly enough.
Wow, what a disappointment.
I know. With all my talk about demons, who would have thought I'm not
Who would
actually a
have thought?
scientist?
6 years into our relationship, I never would have guessed.
I know. I'm sorry. I lied. So, going to actual scientists here.
Okay, right, the real one.
A professor of inorganic chemistry at the University College London, her name's Andrea Sella, has said this about the subject. And this is a direct quote from her. Because of the mixture of metals you have in the mouth, there might be spontaneous electrolysis. My favored explanation is that if a filling were badly done so that part of the cavity remained, that would mean the possibility of buildup of hydrogen within the tooth.
Oh my god.
So, and this, of course, would result in an explosion of sorts. And
Like a little hydrogen explosion?
well, would not be a hydrogen. Well, actually, I guess it actually would be. Sorry, I was thinking a hydrogen bomb. But
Yeah.
yes, like it's
A hydrogen
it's
bomb.
not a hydrogen
in
bomb.
their tooth.
Yeah, that would be really bad.
That would be really bad. That would do more than knock you on your butt.
Yeah, I think that would like kill everyone in like a 20-mile radius around you.
Well, luckily that's not what it was.
That's not the case. Yes. But it's funny though. You say that. I also immediately thought of like the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
They used hydrogen, and then that obviously didn't go too well.
Yeah.
Eek.
Oh my gosh.
So, however, though, what's kind of a little bit... So this is kind of looked at as the most likely theory.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
It makes
so far.
no sense. However, even Sella has conceded that in this scenario, it's still a little bit far-fetched. She, and then again, like this is a direct quote from her, my feeling is that there wouldn't be a jet of flame coming from this Victorian gentleman's mouth. So, she's not entirely convinced
That
this
it
is
would,
actually
like,
accurate.
Yeah.
But it is, considered the most likely, hypothesis that we have today.
So this kind of remains a mystery.
It definitely is a mystery. I would like to point out something interesting is that all this happened in a very specific time frame within history. This only happened within basically a 100-year period.
Wow.
So
that's a really good point, babe.
Yeah, like 1817 was the first time, and then there hadn't been another reported case since the 1920s. So again, like almost exactly like a 100-year period. So I have to believe that it has to do something that they used only in that time period, right?
And in the U.S.
So it's like hyper localized, that we know of, and it's only within a certain time frame.
The cases that you referenced that weren't in Pennsylvania, where was that?
Oh, I don't know. It didn't. It just
said
say.
the United States.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
I wonder.
If it's Amish people.
No.
I don't know why I thought that.
Craig, we just lost our Amish audience.
We just lost our Amish audience. Darn it.
No, I just wonder if it was like nearby or maybe on the East Coast. Like, I just wonder like how local this issue was.
No idea.
Wow.
No idea. But it seemed like it was all at least within like the East Coast though.
That's amazing, babe. This was a good one.
I know, and I really, thank you. I really want to know, like, I mean, again, like, two things that, like, we just said, and I have to recap again for you guys, because I think it's important, is that it was within a certain, like, time period, very specific time period, and localized not only within the United States but around like the Pennsylvania area. So like they had to have used maybe a certain sort of, I don't know, metal that they only used during that time that interacted with other metals. I don't know. Maybe it's certain dental practice even.
Right. Or like just another environmental factor that the folks were exposed to.
Right. That was only like affecting people at a certain period of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still like a definitive mystery.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, there is nothing.
Exploding teeth, everyone.
Exploding teeth. So I mean, also let's give a hand to modern dentists.
Yeah, thank you all.
You guys are rock stars. You guys,
except for the one that removed my tooth.
Oh yeah,
anesthesia.
I don't like you.
We don't like you at all.
I do not.
But everyone else.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Like my orthodontist that I had back in the day.
Yes.
You're awesome.
Thank you to all the orthodontists for our lovely, pretty smiles.
Yeah, and for not making our teeth explode with different types of metals, apparently.
Yes, I agree.
I had a lot of metal in my mouth for years, and I didn't have any exploding teeth.
Yes. No, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
None of your teeth exploded.
I'm sure that, like, you know... also, like, the companies that, like, create braces and all that, they've probably gone through extensive... sort of testing with that.
Yeah. Could you imagine all these little, like, 13-year-olds just exploding teeth everywhere?
Oh, no!
Yeah. Well, thank goodness that doesn't happen anymore.
I know. It's a good thing.
Well, thank you for sharing that lovely, weird history story with us, babe.
Absolutely. And I think that about wraps it up. So...
Thank you all so much for listening to History for Weirdos. Again... If you're interested in this, please hit subscribe. It gives us the good feedback that we need. If you're interested in following along on social media, you can find us at Twitter and Instagram at History for Weirdos and on TikTok at history_for_weirdos. And one more time, you can always email us at historyforweirdos@gmail.com.
That's right. Well... I think that's it, weirdos. Till next time.
Goodbye, weirdos.
Goodbye, guys.